Hey guys, it's Cubmaster Ben here. So today I want to get with you guys real quick on this beautiful afternoon. I want to talk about campsite selection. And you're like, Mr. Ben, why are we talking about campsites? Guys, we're talking about campsites because a lot of you are starting to work on requirements for the new year, right? So maybe you've become a bear, you're going to start working on bear requirements, or you became a Weeblo and you're going to start working towards Weeblo things. So as you get older in scouts, you begin to camp a little more, and you start to camp on your own. So we're going to talk about campsite selection, right? So first thing we want to talk about though is your equipment. Make sure you have everything. Make sure you have your tent, like I have here in my tent bag is the tent itself. Is also the stakes. There's a rain cover, the poles, and you guys will see that outside here in a few minutes. I have a hammer to help put some of my stakes in the ground in case it gets too tough and I can't do it with just my hands. And then I also have some extra rope, all right? The reason I have rope is in case one of my strings breaks that holds my rain fly in place on my tent, I can use the rope to help fix it. All right, so we're gonna talk about those things. We're gonna show you guys how to set up your tent here in just a minute with one of our Weeblos. But first we need to talk about campsite selection. And your selection is where you actually put your tent up and where you stay at. So where you're gonna stay at is very important. It's extremely vital that you know where you're gonna stay and what the weather is gonna be like. If it's gonna rain, you don't wanna be at the bottom of a hill. If it's gonna be super hot, you don't wanna be on top of a hill. Maybe you wanna be under some trees and some shade, right? It's okay to camp under trees as long as you make sure you clear out the brush and everything on the ground. Make sure you put down a ground cover under your tent. What that's gonna do is that's gonna help, if it does rain, help keep the moisture from coming up through the floor of the tent, right? And the other thing you want to be aware of, guys, is if it's going to be raining or possibly raining, you want to make sure that you have somewhere for the water to go. You don't want to be sitting on just flat ground. Maybe have a little bit of a tilt to it or a hill so that the water runs away from your tent and away from your campsite. Okay, so the other thing we want to talk about real quick is what if it's super windy? I do live in Oklahoma, so here it is extremely windy a lot of the time. And so what we want to talk about with wind, guys, is if you can, make sure you set your tent up maybe with some trees or something behind it from the direction of the wind. Maybe help break up the wind a little bit. But otherwise, it's kind of up to you. I don't mind the wind. It helps me sleep at night. It helps keep my tent cool. So I like the wind. I like having my door towards the wind so I get that air moving through there. All right, so we're going to head outside here. We'll show you some good selection sites. We'll show you the site we're going to set up. And then we're also going to talk about some bed selection sites. So first off, let's go, let's go see if we can find a campsite to sit at. What? Okay, this is not what I was thinking. I meant a campsite, not a relaxing site. My living room, while it would be cool to set up a tent and camp in my living room, not exactly the best place to camp. Number one, it's indoors and I like to be outside. Number two, you can see there's stuff everywhere and I got a busy living room. So let's try something else here. This is not where I meant to end up either. I'm at a local tar pit in the area, and this is definitely not a good spot to set up. Number one, there's tar all over the place. And number two, it stinks out here. So let's go find someplace else, all right? This is not what I needed either. I don't know why I'm in the bathtub. Let's try this again. This is not a good campsite either. Your beds are awesome for forts, not so good for your tent. Let's try this again. There we go. That's a lot more like it. So what we're going to do, guys, we're out here in our selected site. So we're going to use my backyard because it is a good spot to go, all right? We got a little bit of a hill. It runs downhill going into a ditch. So if it starts to rain, the water will go that way. All right, we got a nice open spot right here behind me. It's nice and grassy. We've already done all the cleanup, so we cleared out some toys and some other things that were in the way of our setting up our tent, right? It's nice and sunny, so we can get set up quickly and easily, all right? And then we're gonna go. So yeah, so like I said, one of my Weeblos is gonna come help me out, and we're gonna get the tent set up for you guys.
Don't stop. 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 Don't. Don't stop. don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't. Don't stop.
It is hot outside, Cubs. All right, guys, so we showed you some campsite selection spots. We talked you through, or showed you rather, how do we put up our tents, right? And that's just how we do our tents, right? There's a bunch of different tents, a lot of different ways you can do it. Just always remember, you need a clean spot, okay? You need a spot that's not near a lake or anything like that. You want to stay away from the water, all right, and away from the road especially, so that you're safe. All right, we want to pick a spot that's not in a dip or in a valley if it's going to rain. We don't want a spot on top of a hill if it's going to storm, or even if it's just going to be super sunny and get too hot. All right, so make sure you pick a good spot. Be careful in where you pick, and let your parents and your leaders help you pick a spot, but help too, all right? Make sure you help out with the tent, get the stakes in the ground right, get your rain fly on in case there's going to be bad weather. And in general, guys, just have a good time. All right, camping's supposed to be fun, and it will be fun as long as you take the proper precautions and be safe. So remember, when you're putting your tent up, or you're staying the night, or whether you're packing up in the morning, pack your tent up all the way, get it packed up right. Don't touch the wildlife.